In this video we're going to take a look at mechanical fixings or ironmongery. There are obviously various types of screws and nails that we can use in woodworking. Some of the more common ones here are, as you can see, Phillips head, where they've got a cross head. Now these ones in particular are countersunk screws as well. You can see the angle on them, which shows us they're countersunk, as opposed to a round sort of domed screw like this, which is designed to sit out from the surface of the wood rather than sitting flush like a countersink would. We do also have some other versions of those screws. These ones with the straight line across are a slotted head screw, or sometimes called a flathead. They're maybe a little more old-fashioned now. We also have nails. This first one is a panel pin, pretty common for fixing, say, plywood backs onto cupboards or drawers. Now these oval heads or brad nails are for sinking into the surface of a piece of wood to get a nice flush finish. These wider headed nails are quite good for holding firmly when a tidy finish isn't necessary, or the masonry nail that you had just there, or this wider clasp nail. These will get used in various parts of the building trade. Now we've got dowels down at the bottom as well. Dowels are commonly made from beech, and they've got these flutes round at the side to help glue come out of the joints when they're fitted in place. Now this family down at the bottom are loosely called knockdown fixings. Generally speaking, these are the kind of things you'd find in flat pack furniture. Some of these bolts here for sort of countertops, or in this case a cam lock fitting. Very, very common in flat pack furniture, and sort of comes with two parts. You've got the rounder locking element here and the longer bolt which sort of sits into it. Now essentially it lets you join two furniture panels together by only drilling two holes as opposed to doing any more complex joinery. Corner plates and modesty blocks and things like that are also quite common, where they're essentially just hiding screws that are used to assemble things. Now we're just going to fit a few of these into a scrap wood so you can see them in action. We've got our fairly standard Phillips screw starting out there, a little countersink on the top. For the second one, it's going to show you the difference in how they'll sit when it's fitted with a countersink as opposed to when it's just fitted directly into the wood. Thirdly, we're going to fit a rounded head. Now this one is a slotted head screw, so we're going to need to swap out to a different attachment on the drill there. But we'll just fit this one in as well. Now we can see already that they're fitting quite differently into the piece of wood there. Next up, we're going to pop a panel pin in. Again, very simple. Just take a cross-peen hammer, pop that into place, and they usually sit nice and flush. Again, they're for attaching quite thin paneling, so you'd use lots of them, but they sit fairly tidy. Now our oval or brad head nail here, you can see it's got this shaped small head. You should always be trying to orientate that with the grain of the wood so it can sink in a little bit. As we can see there, it'll sink in fairly flush to the surface and give you a nice tidy finish. Next up, dowels. Again, the point is you'll be drilling the hole to the correct size for the doweling, maybe leaving a little bit of wiggle room. As you see, an oversized dowel's not going to fit, but we want to be leaving a bit of space for some glue in the bottom. Now we're just going to show you a cam lock fitting as well. It's a fairly straightforward way of using a knockdown fixing to join two pieces of wood together. Again, very, very common in flat pack furniture. Now, on the one hand, you're drilling in one direction to fit the screw element in there, and on the other hand, you're drilling a wider hole, say with a Forstner bit, to fit the locking rounded element there, and that just holds it in place. Now you can see the screw thread on the other end of that there. That would be attached to the other furniture panel, and when you fit the two things together and tighten that cam locking screw, They're then firmly attached without the need for any glue or anything more complicated than that. Lastly, we'll just take a quick peek at a picture of a modesty block. Basically, it just lets you screw through into the back of your panels to hide any of these joins, but again, without doing anything complex.